Hey guys, good evening. It is John C. Morley here, serial entrepreneur. It is so great to be with you guys. It is Friday and it is June 7th, 2024. So great to be with you here on this wonderful Friday evening. Whether you're with me at 9:56 p.m. or 9:56 a.m., 3 a.m., 3 p.m., 12 noon, 12 a.m., doesn't really matter. I just thank you so much for being here with me. Do catch my hat, which says believemeachieve.com. for more of my amazing, inspiring creations. So definitely check all this amazing stuff out. Okay, we have so much stuff that I think you're going to definitely want to check out. All right, so let's get into the master topic, which we start, on Saturday and we roll through the week and finish on Friday. This is our last night to talk about this master topic, and that is realizing your potential to achieve. And tonight's nugget, which I know you're going to love, I'm going to reveal a secret. The secret to understanding your potential to achieve. We're on series 3. We are on show 23. And if you haven't guessed it by now, ladies and gentlemen, we are on episode 7, which is what wraps up our master topic. And then we move on, obviously, from there. First thing we're going to talk about, ladies and gentlemen, tonight is what is a secret? What is a secret? So, according to Merriam-Webster, which is where we always go for these things online, Merriam-Webster.com, basically, we're going to look up what the word secret is. So secret is an adjective. And this is exactly from Merriam-Webster, kept from knowledge or view, hidden, marked by the habit of discretion, closed-mouthed, working with hidden aims or methods, undercover, a secret agent, not acknowledged, unavowed, a secret bride, conducted in secret, a secret trial, remote from human frequentation or notice, secluded, revealed only to the initiated, esoteric, designed to elude observation or detection. It's a secret panel, containing information whose unauthorized disclosure could endanger national security. All right, so we also have that's it as an adjective. Now, as a noun, a secret is something kept hidden or unexplained, a mystery, something kept from the knowledge of others or shared only confidentially with a few, a method, formula, or a process used in an art or operation and divulged only to those of one's own company or craft, like a trade secret, the practices or knowledge making up the shared discipline or culture of esoteric society. A prayer traditionally said inaudibly by a celebrant just before the preface of the Mass. Something taken to be a secret is a specific or a key to a desired end, right? In a private place or manner, in secret. So that's another one. All right, so now we understand what the heck a secret is, right? So we're going to share with you the secret to understanding, yes, your potential to achieve. Now, we talked about potential earlier in the week. I know you guys are with me when I did that. So if you notice, these topics are getting really juicy, right? We're really getting into some amazing stuff here, and I'm great to be here with you guys. It's really amazing. So we're going to talk about potential. Potential. So potential is, if we want to identify potential, we have to see what something or someone is capable of. If I want to identify the potential of a person, we might give them a test. We might ask them to do something, like if they say they're good at a certain skill. Well, gee, why don't you do that? Maybe they tell you they're great at woodworking. Oh, great, why don't you build me a birdhouse? And so we would look at what they do as, as really the answer to whether they're going to be good or not, right? So another way to find potential is what we call to test. You can test yourself if you want to know your potential about something. Maybe it's mathematics, maybe it's drawing. So when you test yourself, you learn the potential. Now you might say, gee, I didn't get the whole thing right, but you at least understand that there's a potential that, with some, let's say, patience and practice and nurturing, that you can excel in these different areas. So now we know what potential is, all right? How do we basically discover your potential? So how to identify potential and discover. So identifying is one thing. That's where we want to quickly ID something that we see based on a certain situation. Identifying potential, is different from discovering. So discovering is more like, I'm not wanting to find out anything specific, but while I'm doing, I don't know, gardening, or I'm doing singing, or I'm hanging out with my buddies, I'm starting to discover the secret, my potential. Now, when I want to figure out what it is, like if you're an employer and you're trying to figure out whether that person's good at that job, you're trying to identify, okay? Discovering is more something you do in a, let's say, playful type, relaxed, creative environment where you're just poking around and saying, gee, I wonder if this, I wonder if that. And then you go from there, and it's really, really cool, right? Okay, so now that we understand potential, and I want to talk to you about potential. Potential is very interesting. So we have kinetic. There are two types of potential, of potential. And so this will make this a little easier. One is called stored, and one is called kinetic. Okay, so when we think of mechanical energy, because that's what this comes from, mechanical energy, we have energy that can be stored, or we have energy that is kinetic. So energy that, let's say, has a motion or due in a certain position, okay, can be either kinetic energy or potential. Objects that have mechanical energy, if they're in motion or if they are at some position relative to a zero potential energy position, like a brick held at a vertical position above the ground or zero height position, a moving car possesses mechanical energy due to its motion kinetic energy. So a moving basal possesses mechanical energy due to it has the speed of kinetic energy and its vertical position. A barbell lift high above a weightlifter's head possesses mechanical energy due to its vertical position. Above the ground, the gravitational, it is potential energy. And then when it's drawn down, it is basically, coming to kinetic. So think of it like a rubber band. Let me see if I have a rubber band. Okay. So this right now is a rubber band. Okay. If I take this around, if you guys can see it. So right now, there's nothing. There's basically just nothing. If I was to pull this rubber band back like this, okay, if you guys can see that, I hope you can. Okay, so now it has, it basically has stored energy, right? When I let it go, it has kinetic energy, right? So for something to move or transform, it goes from a potential to getting something pulled back or cocked back. So it becomes, basically, it goes into the stored state. So like if you wind up something and then you have to let it go, you're taking it from a position at rest, and then you're bringing it into, right, stored energy, and then you're letting it go, and it goes into kinetic. So I think that's a really cool thing. And so when we start to realize that our brain, our body operates on a very similar plane, and that means that how we operate has to deal with the fact that we're on a plane of stored energy and kinetic energy. Let me give you another example. Maybe you have a propeller, and you have it wound with a rubber band or whatever it is, a gear. And if you wind that propeller around, I'm creating stored energy. Then when I let it go, it just, how about a watch? A Rolex watch. If let's say I take the crown out and I twist it a little bit, right? I'm taking and I'm creating stored energy. Once I push the head of that crown back in, it goes into kinetic energy. Now, it doesn't dissipate as quickly as the rubber band did. But, think of it like this, maybe a ball. Think of a ball right now just on a street. Okay. Now let's think about that same ball that is at the top of a hill. And so if I push that ball, it has stored energy and then it becomes kinetic. It goes down because of its weight. It's going down into kinetic energy. That's like wild, isn't it? All right. So now the question you're probably asking, everybody wants to know this, is what is the secret? How do we achieve our highest potential? So how do we achieve our highest potential? Well, I got to be honest with you. It's not by sitting on the couch all day. Okay. To achieve your full potential, you have to set yourself up for success. That's number one. You want to use SMART promises: specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, realistic, time-bound. And then you want to work towards your promise every day. Commit to the process. Note that your long-term achievements, will propel you forward. And that's important. And it doesn't have to be set in stone as to what it is. You can always change it if you want to alter it. You create a checklist of things you should do every day to work towards your goal, your promises, and then you do these things every day without fail. That's how it works. You begin your journey. You find your inspiration. Maybe you disconnect from your usual routine. You listen to music. You spend time in nature. You meditate. You carry around a small notepad with you and you jot some things down. You write down inspirational moments that happen to, go through your head. Create short-term promises, right? Be confident in who you are. Accept changes as they happen. Note that I am in control of my actions. So achieve your potential in the long term. Your belief is very key to this. The next thing you want to do is you probably want to get some support. That could be some friends. That could be some other resources. And then you can go from there. We talked about trusting your gut yesterday, trusting your intuition, but be open to new experiences. Remember, your intuition and contemplation are not mutually exclusive. You can use your intuition to help inform your decision-making process, even when you're not relying on it fully. Intuition is helpful as a tool for making quick decisions, and this can free up you to work on other important promises that you're setting. You want to never stop. I love to create content, all this stuff. And I had somebody the other day, and it's always great to hear when people say this. John, you create amazing content. Don't ever stop. I am passionate about what I do. And I do this because I want to become a better version of myself and help others become better versions of themselves. And I really, find it to be a privilege, pleasure, and honor to be with all of you every single time, whether I have one listener or a million listeners, or, you're downloading my program later. It's great. I see a lot of people that, they get on the train because they want to make a change. But then when it gets hard for them, it's like, oh my gosh, what do I do now? It's too hard. What am I supposed to do? And it's not that it's hard in the sense that it's hard for you to do. It's just that it's different. And I said to you before, you have to practice getting comfortable being uncomfortable. So the secret, this is what we want to go through, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to call it the secret. Okay. This is really what it is. Everybody ready? The secret for achieving your maximum potential is be your authentic self. Your full potential is never out of reach. All right. Sometimes you might get thrown a curveball, but that's okay. Build your foundation to reach your potential every single day. That's important. But think about things like your physical security, your emotional security, your environment, your mindset, right? Develop that growth mindset we talked about. Combine reflection and action. Focus on the big picture, time management, Develop those promises, to-do lists, to-be lists, right? Big dreamers take small steps to fulfill their potential. Don't not take any steps. Don't reinvent the wheel, but look at how you can use the wheel as part of your blueprint to becoming a success. Practice discipline. Accept failure with self-compassion, and know that failure is not the end. Failure is just feedback for you to adjust. Take time to recharge your batteries. We don't want to see you guys getting sick or, let's say running out of steam before you're even at your goal. Collaborate. Okay? Work with a coach like myself. Be mindful. You can use the scientific method where you can create a hypothesis about what would happen if I did this. And then what could I do? So the real secret to understanding your potential lies within you. It lies within your heart. It lies within your mind. And when you embrace the authenticness of your truth, of who you are as a core person, you start to discover that there's a lot of potential in your life. I mean, there's a lot of potential in your life. A lot. So much potential that you wouldn't even believe that you could do something. And again, I've said this before time and time again. Your belief creates your reality. Whether what you believe is true or whether what you believe is false, it still paints a picture of what your reality is. So why? Because we've clamped into what we want to be and we've assigned our resources, but we sometimes put our feet hard on the ground and don't want to move because we're not happy about the current outcome, right? I think we've got to see life as a journey, and we have to realize that the secret to understanding your potential to achieve is knowing that you've got to creatively play. You've got to try something. You've got to listen to your gut. You got to feel how it feels, right? We talked about if your stomach gets tight or things like that, right? You got to know that when you're in a state of joy, you can create. When you're in a state of worry or unhappiness, you just get stifled. So think about your promises. Think about how you feel when they're getting done. And when you start thinking about the end picture, it's like other things start coming in your pathway that you can easily do to get there. Now, I'm not telling you, like, let's say you're going to build a building, right? And there was a pretty tall building. They might say, gee, that's a lot to do, John. Well, you start with the very basic steps. Does anybody know what is the first thing you have to do before you build any, let's say, any commercial building? Let's go there. And the first thing you have to do, there are actually 12 things before you start a construction project, but you've got to choose where you're going, analyze markets, analyze codes, laws, incentives, create a business plan. But it comes down to the fact that you've got to figure out what you want. And then you got to make sure that what you want is going to be in alignment to what the demand to where you're building it is. If it's a business, if it's a restaurant, whatever it is that building going to be something that other people are going to be able to use in their life? I've talked about this before. When you want to get somebody involved in a product or service, you don't want to sell them anything, but you want to just listen and you want to share a solution to their pain points. I've also said to you, if somebody doesn't want to get out of pain, then you shouldn't share anything. You shouldn't feel compelled to. They say, well, gee, why don't you tell me? You don't want to solve the problem. You're not sure you want to solve the problem. So why would we want to continue a conversation? That wouldn't be fair or ethical. And people are going to be on the fence about this. But then they're going to come back to you and be like, oh, that's all. Very, very interesting. Very, very simple. All right, guys, you know who I am by now. Sure you do. I'm John C. Morley, serial entrepreneur. It's a privilege, pleasure, and honor to be with you this fantastic evening. I hope you'll like, love, support the channel. Comment below. Tag your friends, colleagues, associates. Share this out with everyone you know on social media. And remember, I've just given you the secrets, or the main secret to understanding your potential to achieve success. And that is, you've got to be you. You've got to start by being that authentic self. And then everything else will just flow like a beautiful waterfall. Have yourself an amazing evening, everyone, and I'll catch you real soon with a brand new master topic tomorrow on Saturday.